Hi everyone. Not so nice this morning, unfortunately, but still braving it outside. So we'll just start off with a quick warm up. If we just start at your head, we'll just take the head gently over to one side, just keeping the shoulder where it is. Don't lift that shoulder. And again, over gently to the other side. Again, make sure you're not lifting that shoulder or you won't be achieving that stretch. And again, if you could start just thinking about where your feet are on the mat now. Just a nice equal weight through both feet. And then starting to just introduce some pattern with your breathing, so it doesn't need to be anything complicated. Just try and get a nice even rhythm. Gently back to centre with the head, and then keep the shoulders where they are and just gently bring that head forward so you feel as if you're just looking down at your toes. And then just come into some big shoulder rolls. So as you're taking the shoulders back, think about inhaling and exhaling as the shoulders come forward. And last one. As you take the shoulders back into that last roll, think about the shoulder blades just dropping nicely down that back. And then just take the arm up and gently reaching over without pushing that hip out. Gently dropping that hand down towards that knee. And again, back up into the centre. Inhale. Exhale, reach up and over. Gently down with that opposite hand. Imagine you're between two panes of glass here, so you're not rotating the body. Inhale, exhale, reach up and over. Gently reaching down with that arm. And the last one. Inhale, exhale, up and over. Gently reaching down with that arm. And then come back into the centre. And then we'll just come down onto your knees. So I'll just give those knees a little bit of a wake up. So keeping the feet on the floor. Just gently bending one knee at a time. And then we'll take that onto the feet. So just coming up onto the toes. And then both feet down onto the floor. Okay, and we'll just move on to your... Okay, so we'll just do 3 roll downs. So what I want you to do is come to the end of your mat, and we're going to do our 3 roll downs, and then we're going to do a half roll down to make our way onto the mat. So inhale to prepare. As you exhale, just tuck that chin down to the chest, arms heavy, knees nice and soft, and just going to start just unstacking that spine, one vertebra at a time. Making sure that you're not pushing out with your tailbone or really pushing the knees behind you. You want the knees to be soft. So think more about the sequence of movement rather than how far down you're able to get. And then inhale as you exhale, just starting to reset that spine one vertebra at a time. As you come up to the top, really focus on where the crown is. So it's floating up towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, tuck the chin, roll gradually through that spine. Nice and heavy with those arms, nice and soft with those knees, remember. And as you're coming back up, thinking about restacking that spine one vertebra at a time. Keep the arms heavy, don't lift the shoulders. I'm going to do one more full one, so inhale, exhale, chin towards the chest, nice and heavy with the arms. This time when you get to the bottom, you're going to give the arms a big circle or a swing in a figure of 8. Just start to loosen up those shoulders a little more. And then reset that spine. And then come down into half of your roll down this time, and then you're going to walk the hands away from you when they get to the mat and come down onto your front lying position. So again, sequence of movement through that spine, rolling the chin down the chest, nice and soft with those knees. If you need to bend your knees to get your hands down, that's fine, and then you're just going to walk the hands away and gradually put yourself down onto your mat. So just take your hands into your diamond position, and we'll just give that back a little bit of a stretch off before we start. So remember, when you're in your front lying position, tummy button tucked away from the mat, so you're not dropping that back down onto the mat. You should never be feeling any discomfort in your lower back. If you do, making sure that your tummy button is tucked away from the mat and that you are keeping within your range of movement, so not pushing yourself into discomfort. So going to inhale, as you exhale, you're going to imagine drawing a line with that nose, tucking that tummy button and just pushing up through that back. Take a couple of breaths. So almost feel as if you're stretching the front of that body, so it's becoming really long. And then inhale, exhale, bring that down. And then we're going to do the same thing, so tucking that tummy button away from the mat. Inhale, draw a line with the nose, stretch through the front of the body. And hold, take a couple of breaths. And bring that down. And again, one last time. Inhale, exhale, draw that line with the nose. Stretching off the front of that body. Take the head a little further back if you want to, but just be mindful of your lower back. And then gently replace that spine. Okay, so we're just going to stay on our front for the first lot of our exercises. We're going to look at just getting a little bit of length through that spine. So just take the arms out so they're at a right angled position. So if you can't see me, I know most of you know this, but in case anybody else, you want to be in that position with the arms, making sure that the arms don't wing back as you're coming through the exercise. So trying to keep the awareness of where those arms are. We're going to again think about becoming nice and long through that body, tummy button tucked away from the mat, and then just going to lift the head and chest off the mat. Think about your head as being an extension of your spine, so your head's not coming back. And then we're going to replace yourself down on the mat. So almost think about this as you do with your exercises on your back and your roll down. So you're kind of peeling the spine, well, peeling the front of the body off the mat, just in a sequence, so nice slow movements. Again, inhale, exhale, long through that spine, tummy button tucked away, head is an extension of the spine, and back down again. And again, one more, and we're going to change it a little bit, so inhale, length through that spine, tummy button tucked, and close. So we're going to introduce leg movement and a little bit of a diagonal balance challenge this time. So you're going to come into your same start position, then we're going to extend one arm and we're going to take one leg out. So what you don't want to do as you take your leg up is roll your body to the side. So we're looking for the body to stay nice and stable, so it's a stable base for your limbs to work from. So coming up, reach an arm away, reach a leg away, make sure your head doesn't come back. So really think about the foot and the hand reaching as far away from each other as possible, elbow back, then we take that body back down again. Inhale, exhale, lift, and the same thing, then take leg out, keep the opposite leg nice and relaxed, really reach the arm and leg away from each other. Got to keep control of this arm as well, so make sure that's not doing its own thing. Back together and down again. Again, inhale, length through that spine, exhale, reaching away. Remember, don't twist through the body. Back down again. Inhale, exhale, lift, extend the arm, extend the leg. And back to your start position. Okay, so just push back now up into your child's pose. Give that back a little bit of a flex in the opposite direction. And then going to change positions now, so we're going to come down onto our back. Actually, I'm going to swing round because I'm in a bit of a hole there. I'll end up rolling down the garden. So just take a minute, just allow that body just to relax down onto that mat. So have your knees in rest position, feet hip width apart, so you can achieve that by just taking your feet together, keeping the heels out, keeping the toes out. So hips, knees, feet in line with each other. We don't want any dropping out or in of the knees. So really try and focus on that. Keeping the feet nice and flat on the floor. Just allow that body just to start to just feel nice and relaxed and comfortable down onto your mat. So we just take a couple of breaths, and as we do, we're just going to gently take the knees over to one side and the head over to the other side. Just start loosening up that back. And again, head to one side, knees to the opposite side. You can take your arms out into T shape for this one, it's quite nice, it just stops any lifting of those shoulders, just helps keep them nice and stable. And again, try and incorporate some type of breathing pattern. It doesn't need to be anything too complicated, just try and have a breath connected with one direction, the breath connected with the other direction. Okay, and we're just going to hold now in that position for a couple of seconds. And then hold in the other direction for a couple of seconds. Then we'll come back into the centre and we're just starting start to just wake those abs up a little bit. So just going to take one leg at a time out to the side, really focusing on your pelvic position, so you're not lifting your hip as your leg goes out to the side, thinking about a nice stable base through the centre. I'm just going to take that, start switching on through the centre now, so tummy button tucks back to about 30%, and then imagining there's some resistance on your knee. You can actually, if you find it difficult to imagine this, you can just take your hand onto your knee, just create a little bit of resistance, so almost like you've got your resistance band there, and then we'll repeat that on the other side. So remember that opposite hip stays exactly where it should be, and then we're going to bring that leg back into the centre. If you want to use your hand for a bit of resistance, you can. So whichever hand's more comfortable for you to use, depends on how long your arms are. It's quite hard with the diagonal arm, but if you don't want to be pushing too much, but just give that little bit of resistance. Remember, the opposite leg stays still. So opposite hip stays down, tummy button tucked back. We'll do one more to each side. So hip staying down, engaging through the abdominals. And you can move back up. Last one. Inhale, exhale, allow that knee to fall, keep the opposite knee completely still, and bring it back to the centre. So just make sure those feet are hip width apart again, and we're going to just bring those elbows behind your head now. So we're going to inhale, just feeling that spine, just coming up into your small sit-up position, and hold for a few seconds. Inhale, exhale, coming back down. So again, thinking about peeling that spine off the mat one vertebra at a time, making sure you don't feel like you're pulling up through your neck. Just want a nice light feel just to support the head. Again, inhale, exhale, just hold, tucking back with the tummy button, nice and soft through the neck and the front of the chest. Inhale, exhale, back down again, and again, inhale, exhale, feel nice and soft through the front of the chest, and gradually replacing that side. So really try and focus on between your shoulder blades, connecting down onto that mat, so you're not getting a hollow there. And again, inhale, exhale, hold for a couple of seconds. Replace slowly. And we're going to do one more of those. Inhale, exhale, hold, back down, and just give those knees a little hug up to the chest. And we're just going to come into a variation of your sit-up. So I'm going to work on the sides of the body now, so the body, the muscles that are responsible for rotating and actually flexing the body. So we're going to keep the same position through the arms. We're going to bring one leg at a time up into your tabletop position, and we're going to come into your crisscross. So you're going to bring the elbow to meet the knee, and then back down in between. So If you've got that movement quite easily, then we'll move on to a little bit of a quicker one. If not, you can just stick with that one, so sticking with whatever works for you. So we're going to take now the opposite leg straight and one leg towards your elbow. Do 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and rest. Bring those knees up towards the chest. Give yourself a little bit of a roll around, give that back a little bit of a massage. Good. Okay. So just bring the legs straight, take the arms over the head. Nice body stretch. We're going to make our way up into your seated position now. I'm just going to work again a little bit more on those abdominal muscles. So you're going to keep your legs in that straight position, keep them nicely stretched away, and we're going to start with your arms out in front of you, palms facing towards each other. And we're going to inhale. As you exhale, you're going to come back probably about halfway, or just somewhere where you need to engage through the centre to keep you there. And then we're going to take those arms open, arms closed, abs feel as if they're shortening to bring you back up, and then you can come forward over your legs for a little stretch through that back in between. So just to recap, inhale, exhale from about halfway, hold, arms open and closed, back up and forward. Again, inhale, make sure you're starting in a nice upright position, so you're not starting in a slumped position. So think about the head floating up. Inhale, shoulders down. Exhale, tuck the tummy button and hold. 1, 2, we're going to do an extra one this time. And one more. And back up into that upright position, then forwards. And again, that nice upright position, so think about the head floating up. Inhale, exhale, control by using those abdominal muscles. Think about the abdominal muscles or the tummy button pushing back towards the spine. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and back up to that start position, forward over those feet, and we'll do one more. So nice starting position, don't slump. Arms in front of you, shoulders coming down, think about those shoulders dropping down towards the waistband. Inhale, exhale, switch on through the centre. 1, breathe, 2, breathe, 3, up and forward. Just give those toes a little pull up towards the body if you want to. Good, okay. So just make your way over onto all fours, onto your hands and knees, and we'll just give that back a little stretch through your cat stretch. So think about nice weight distribution through your 4 points, and then gently drop that head down, bring that back gently up towards the ceiling. Allow the head to become heavy. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction, so dropping the back gently down, head gently back. don't shove your head back too far or you'll start to hurt the upper part of your spine. And again, so you can think about achieving this by just closing and opening the angle through the hips. If you take the attention onto the hips for a second or two, you feel as your back comes up, you're opening, so you're getting a big angle here. As the back drops down, that angle's closing up slightly. We do one more. So one more in each direction. And then come into your neutral position. Remember, think about that head becoming an extension of the spine so it's not back or forward. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. You're going to push up. You're just going to walk those hands back towards your feet. And then just come up to a gentle roll up. And then we'll come back down again. So a little bit of a speeded up, roll down, but still thinking about your sequence of movement through that spine. Then we're going to come back down again. And then we're going to drop down into your plank. So, hold. Keep that tummy button tucked back. Don't push your bum up, remember. A little wobble going on, that's good, means you're working. Good, keep going if you can. And we're counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently drop down. Good. Okay, give the back a little stretch off again. Go back into that child's pose. You can just take your hands around behind your feet and just drop the head down onto the mat if you prefer, or you can take your arms in front of you. Good. Okay, right then. So we'll come down onto our side now. If you prefer, you can have your cushion just gently under your head, and then have a look down, make sure you can see those feet. We'll just take the arm up, just stretch that upper part of the body. So remember, the aim of your side lying exercise is that you're not rolling backwards or forwards, or you're not bringing that hip up towards your rib. So think about hips staying nicely stacked. Almost imagine you've got a little pin or something under the underneath waist so you don't drop that waist down. And again, just stretch, think about the leg going off down the mat, the hand coming up towards the mat. Think about that length you're feeling through there, and then we're going to try and keep that length as we come into our clam position. So bring the feet up towards your seat bones and make sure that it hasn't affected your position. So you can either stay with your just your basic clam if you want to. Remember, making sure that you don't tip back. You can have your arm up in this position just to test your balance a little bit, or if you prefer, you can come up into your raised clam, so bringing your feet up and then same movement. So try and make sure if you're in your raised clam that you're keeping your foot where it is, so it's not cheating and going up and down as you come through the clam movement. I find it quite handy to have my hand just on my hip to make sure I'm not rolling backwards or forwards. It just gives you a little bit of a marker for your position, or if you're quite confident with your position, I'm not there to shout at you, so I'll have to trust you so you can take your arm up towards the ceiling. So remember staying engaged through the centre of that body. Think about your breathing. Don't allow your foot to come open or allow the heel or the toe to lift away from each other. Want to use that as a hinge. Imagine this as your door or your clamshell opening. Good. Keep breathing. Make sure that you're not bringing that hip up towards your rib. Make sure your underneath waist's not dropping down onto the mat. And then do 3 more. So last 2. Last 1. And give that leg a bit of a rest for a second. So just bring your knee, foot up towards your bum. Give your bum a little bit of a rub. And then we're going to take our legs back into our straight position. So have a look at those toes. Make sure your legs aren't too far behind you. And then we're going to come onto your single leg lift. So again, you can use your hand as a little bit of a mark if you want to, or you can take your hands up, or if you prefer, have your hand in front of you just to help out with your sideways balance. So we're just going to keep that underneath leg nice and stretched, and this top leg is going to come up. Don't want it coming any higher than your hip, really, because you'll start to push yourself out of your neutral position, sorry. So nice and slow, nice and long with the leg. Get a little bit of a breathing pattern going on. So you can inhale to prepare, exhale, inhale, exhale. Your breathing pattern doesn't need to be anything complicated. Just as long as you have that pattern going on. Trying to make sure that your leg starts and finishes or lands and takes off in the same place. If you feel like your heel is landing higher than your underneath heel, that means that your hip is collapsing towards your ribs. So think about that length through your leg again. Good. Okay, we're going to do 2 more of those, nice and slowly. Keep that leg long. Good. Last one. I think I popped an extra one in there. Apologies for that. Good. And rest. Give that leg a bit of a rub and a little bit of a rest. So you've worked on the upper leg now. We're going to take your attention onto your underneath leg. So we're wanting to work the inner thigh of your underneath leg now. We're going to come into your double leg lift. So what you've got to do now is switch off your top leg so it feels nice and heavy. Again, whichever position you want your hand in, or whichever one. Okay, so we're going to lift your underneath leg now, and your underneath leg is going to do the work of lifting up your top leg. So don't let that top leg float up. You've got to try and switch off this top leg now. Let that bottom leg lift it. So again, think about that breathing pattern. Inhale, exhaling to lift. Don't let this hip come up towards your rib. So remember, top leg is a dead weight. No lifting of that top leg. you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can keep your leg, your underneath leg off the mat, so you're not putting it all the way down. Okay, we're going to do 3 more. So 1, 2, 3, and rest. Okay, we'll make our way onto our other side. If you want to just have a little bit of a cat stretch on your way across, then do just give that back a little stretch. Push back into your child's pose. Just have a breathe after a second or two. And then we're going to change onto our opposite side. So again, just have a look down, make sure you can see your feet nice and long through the body. Make sure that underneath waist isn't collapsing down, and we'll just get the feeling of that stretch through the side. So you're just going to take that arm up and over the head, stretch away with that leg. Back again. Once more, hip and toe floating down the mat, arm floating up the mat. You'll feel as you do that, that underneath the waist will lift away from the mat, which is the feeling that you want. You don't want that underneath waist dropping down onto the mat. So keep that feeling, and then you're going to bring your feet into your clam position. So feet towards the seat bones, and you can either have your raised clam or you can just have your basic clam. So your basic clam, the reminder, is that. Your raised clam is this position. So remember, if you're in your raised clam, you're going to keep your heel and your toe together, and the foot stays in the same position. So try and get a pattern going with that breathing. So inhale, exhale. Remember, you can take your arm up if you want to just challenge the balance a little more. So nice and slow, nice controlled movement. That underneath waist can stay lifted, remember. Tummy button tucked back. If you need to, you can have your arm in front of you. You can have it along the top of your body. Okay, we're going to do 3 more. Make sure that waist isn't starting to drop down and that hip's not starting to come up. Last one. And rest. Give that leg a straighten out, a little bit of a rub if you need to. And then we'll come onto your single leg lift. So whichever leg arm position you want. Think about toe and the heel starting and landing in the same place. So if your leg starts to come up like that, you know that that hip's lifting and your waist dropping. So got to be in that long position. But whichever arm position you want, and we'll just come. So long through that leg. Nice and slow. Keep that tummy button tucked back. Inhale, exhale, get some kind of breathing pattern going. Tip back with that tummy button. Make sure that leg isn't starting to creep up the other leg. You want that ball of the foot and the heel landing in the same place each time. Good, nice and slowly. And we're going to do 3 more. Last one. Good, and rest for a second. With that little rub, little rest for a minute. And we'll move on to, we'll give this a rest and we'll start to work on the inner thigh of your lower leg now. So again, just check your position, make sure your legs aren't too far back. So you want to be in a very, very slight banana shape so you can see your toes in front of you. And then we're going to start with that underneath leg doing that work. So mind of your arm position, you can have your arm up there. If your balance is fairly good, you need a little bit of help with your balance, have your arm there. If you want to just check what's happening with your hips, you can have your arm there, or you can have your arm along the top of your body. So whichever position you prefer, and then we'll come into that underneath leg doing that work. And if you want to work a little harder, you can not bring your leg down all the way. So you can either come all the way down and up again, like so, or you could just come so far down so your legs suspended, but making sure that underneath leg is doing the work. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep this leg heavy on the top. So really trying to take the attention onto this here doing the work. So this feels like it's a dead weight. So your top leg is that dead weight. Your underneath leg's lifting that weight. Okay, we'll do 4 more. Nice and slowly. Breathe. Last one. Slowly lower. And give yourself a bit of a rub on your hip if you need to. Got a bit of a burn going on. Just give your leg a bit of a stretch out. And we're going to come on to our fronts now. So we'll just do some stretches to finish off. So starting off just by stretching off the front of your thigh here. So if we just bring that foot up towards your bum, just allow that muscle just to gently stretch. Try not to grip on with your calf muscle, so keep your calf muscle nice and soft. Just breathe through that stretch. You want to have your opposite arm there just to keep your head down on your can, and release, and then swap your arm over. You want to just rest on your bent arm, and then remember, keep that calf muscle switched off, so it should be the front of your thigh that's feeling it. And release. Okay, so just push back up into your hat position, and we'll just give the back a nice stretch off. So just remembering the angle of the hip opening and closing to create that movement. remember, not pushing the head back too far. And allow the head to become heavy. Allow that back to feel as if it's being pulled up towards that ceiling. And just rest in that position for a minute or two. Okay, and then just going to take one leg out behind you, tuck the toes underneath, and then just pushing back, just stretching that hamstring. And then we'll have a swap onto the other one. Okay, and then back into your cat position, just tuck those toes underneath and just walk the hands up towards your feet. And then just coming up, gently restacking that spine up into your standing position. As you reach the top, just going to take your hands clasped, palms facing away from you. Just take hands up, just gently behind you, reaching up all the time. Make sure you're not pushing out that tailbone. Take them a little bit further, then that's fine, just work within your own body. Then just turn the hands over, take them forward over the head, pushing away, gently dropping that head forward. And then just allow those arms just to gently drop down by your sides. Good, well done everyone. I hope you enjoyed class this week. It'll be really nice to get back and see everybody in the flesh, but who knows when that's going to be. So meanwhile, I hope you're enjoying the online classes. It's all a bit strange, but I think we're all getting used to it now. It's becoming the new norm. So hopefully see you all in class soon. If you've got any questions about anything or anything you're finding uncomfortable and you want any alternatives, please feel free to message me on the WhatsApp group or privately or through Fiona. And hopefully see you all soon. Bye.